So we still have that flued out culture where these girls are bragging about how this guy flew me to Miami. This guy flew me to Houston. Yeah, and when you got there, girl, you know you had to bust it wide open. Stop playing with me. For real, stop. Don't let these girls fool you. They're out here turning tricks. They really are.
Guess I gotta hit him with the update. Really with it, I ain't got a pump fake. Killer flow and hit him with the one take.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Chrissy Comments, where we sit in my living room and talk about whatever the day has brought us. So please give me the story so I can put my opinion on it. And today I'm going to be putting my opinion on what really sparked my curiosity after watching the viral TikTok series, the 50-part viral TikTok series, Who the F Did I Marry? And in this woman's story, she goes through a saga of her basically marrying a pathological liar who is a psychopath. However, her blinders got put on because she thought she was in a hypergamous relationship. He was paying for things and she thought, oh wow, finally it's my time. And so she turned a blind eye to a lot of red flags and she ended up marrying a psychopath. And it really has been on my mind with hypergamy, with the ideal of hypergamy and how it can, there's a lot of good teachings with it, but it also can be very misleading for women. I think it can be misleading definitely for young women who are just starting life and starting their dating game. And it could definitely lead us down a dark path. And I low-key been having a feeling that hypergamy is nothing but almost like a slow track to prostitution. It is slowly turning us into little mini baby prostitutes. And I just kind of want to look at I want to take a look at what I mean by that. So first, let's start off with what is hypergamy. Let's figure out what it actually is. Hypergamy is the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. So hypergamy, from what I've always known it as, is seeking a relationship with potential partners who are higher in the socioeconomic status than you are. It is to basically kind of do what women have been doing for years or women's families have been doing for years, which is trying to marry into a family that has a higher status, whether that be education, a higher social status in the world, and then also more money in the bank. Because we know more money, less problems, and from the dawn of time, women have always been seeking a provider and protector, and then in modern day society, a provider means you got more money. So that is technically what a hypergamous relationship is. So now I want to get into the viral 50-part series on TikTok, Who the F Did I Marry? And this is an example of hypergamy gone wrong.
To note, he paid every bill. He paid all the bills. He gave me spending money. Like, he paid the rent, because my rent at the time was less than $1,000. He paid the utility bills. And so when he's telling me that he's a regional manager, I was like, wow, okay, so you got money. And so he paid all the household bills. So my check really was just taking care of me, myself, and I. And I am not, this is where it's not gonna make me look good, but it's the truth. It was intoxicating to not have to worry financially about how to pay the bills. The phone calls where he called to pay his car off, made up. The phone call to the realtor when we were looking at houses, made up. The phone call to the bank for them to release the money for the house that he signed his name for, made up. So those are just some of the things that my pathological lying ex-husband did. There's so much more. I have severe PTSD. And I know it's my fault. I know that I did not trust myself. I did not pay attention to the United Nations of red flags. I did not pray. And I am paying the consequences for that. So there's nothing anyone can say to me, girl, you was dumb. I was desperate. I wanted to be married. I wanted a family. And I thought it was my turn.
It's an example of when you lose your moral compass for a hypergamous relationship where a man can pay your bills. This lady married a pathological liar, a complete psychopath, because like she said in her series, I thought it was my time. And I really can resonate with that. I think a lot of us can. She thought it was her time. She thought that she could go live the soft life. She thought that, oh my gosh, this man has come in. He's helped me with my car note. He's even brought me a new car. Or did he even buy her a car? I don't even think so. He's paying the rent. He came in and did that, and he was pathological. He was a psychopath. He knew what he was doing. By him doing that, she put her blinders on. Couldn't see anything past that. She thought she had met a man who was a manager who just got promoted to like a VP of the company that he worked at, and she thought this is it. That is hypergamy. That is what they're talking about with hypergamy, right? You know, a man with a certain status, of a certain socioeconomic status, and that he could pull her up with him. But the only issue with that is that it wasn't real. And in this situation, in her situation, it's a little extreme because she really was dealing with a pathological liar, which I hope a lot of us will not have to deal with in our time. However, it is definitely an example of when you are going after a relationship thinking that just because this man can pay your rent or your car, that all is fine, all is well. When she knew, she said it herself, all was not fine and all was not well. And in the middle of that relationship, she had gotten so codependent on him because she started to need him to pay her bills. She said she started to need him to pay that car.
I had basically was dependent on him to help with the car note. So I wanted to look for another job where I could afford life all by myself, including that car note, basically where I would make more money.
That is not the situation you want to be in at all. That is not the situation women want to be in just because some man is showing that he can pay your bills. Because what he was not able to show her was that he had morals, was that he had integrity. And she knew that something was off with that, but she still continued. And she continued for a lot of reasons. And like a lot of us, we continue because we, really like the person or, we just want to be loved and we're vulnerable in that sense. I definitely understand that. But when you have this hypergamous teaching on social media of just go after the bag, just go after the man with the bag. Yeah, you can go after the man with the bag, but that man might be a really shitty man. And in her case, he was a man who was a psychopath. It could have gotten very, very dangerous for her. She could have ended up in financial ruin behind him. If she had stayed longer, she 100% would have ended up in financial ruin because he had her out here looking at cars that they couldn't afford, looking at houses they couldn't afford. And come to find out, we learned that he didn't have intentions on getting any of those things. But could you imagine if he did pursue that and had her sign on the dotted line with him? Financial ruin. All for what? Because we were going after a guy that had a bag. The bag ain't that serious because you can go get your own goddamn bag. And I'm serious about that. You can go get your own bag. At the end of the day, you need to rely on yourself. You're not going to sit up here and go get a car or let some guy buy you a car that you cannot afford. You will always need to be able to afford that on your own. That's just the facts.
And another point that I would like to make is the fact that he provided for her and paid all her bills, which is why it was difficult for her to leave. I just want to reiterate why following Shera Seven's advice, sprinkle, sprinkle, it will land you with an abusive man. This story here is a prime example why Shera Seven's advice does not work. And I've repeatedly told women that Shera is miserable in her marriage and she's giving out this toxic advice to single women. She's mixing truth with toxicity because secretly she wishes she was single and out here doing what she wants. So she's got to sell y'all a pipe dream that she's so happy in her marriage because she's getting her husband's money.
Bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you want a woman to bring something to the table, go to IHOP. Go to the restaurant where you can tip her, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Because if I bring something to the table, you're going to be mad because it's going to be another man who's going to not ask me to bring something to the table. He's going to take care of the bill, them kids, and everybody else. And you if you look broke.
So we've seen the likes of the infamous Shera Seven. And when I tell you, Shera has been around for a long time. Like, she was around when I was out and about running the streets. So I find it really interesting that the girls have found her and are bringing back her videos, because I don't even know if she was still doing YouTube as of recently, until, like, I just feel like this past year she just had a surge. And, you know, her infamous sprinkle teachings.
4s and 5s want to be treated like dimes. And broke men want to be treated like kings. Guess we at a standstill. Bye. Messing around with them dusties after 25, you shouldn't even be dealing with a dusty. You shouldn't even be dealing with a broke man, a man who can't provide you the lifestyle that you're looking for in the next 5 years.
So we've seen Shera Seven and her hypergamy doctrine and teachings of how to get a rich man and how to stop dating dusties. And in this video, I'm not going to be bashing Shera Seven. I'm really not, because I actually agree with a lot of the things she says. I find her very charming and funny. And I think she throws good nuggets at women. She really, really does. And I think every woman really should listen to her and hear what she has to say. I'm just going to go over my biggest criticism with Shera Seven, and that is just her hypergamy teaching as a whole, and how I feel that it could potentially be leading women down a dangerous path, where you could be found in a non-committed relationship, a potentially abusive relationship, a non-loving relationship, all just for the sake of money. Like, did he have money? And then I also feel like it is pushing women to what I would call a soft form of prostitution, and they may not even know it.
I'll take my own. No, fool, you can sell it. Or pretend to sell it. Or see what you can get by the idea. The third, found out partner cheated. He's a provider. I don't want to be with him, but you don't want to struggle. Girl, stay with that man and collect his money. All men cheat. Sprinkle, sprinkle. When you get back on your feet and your baby is older and in school, you go do whatever you want, man. Y'all gotta stop being so emotional. Okay? Y'all gotta stop being so emotional. Married for money, not for family. I don't want to sleep with them, but how to get the money? The same way all these other women are getting money without sleeping with them. By lying and saying they're gonna sleep with them and then never do. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Like, oh, we gonna do it in 2 weeks. Get the hotel. Because I'm gonna be busy up until the end. I can't wait. I got my outfit together. Be taking pictures of lingerie laying on your bed and sending it to them. I can't wait. This type of, lie, telling them to book the room and everything. And between now and then, they're gonna just be paying for whatever you ask them to pay for, because they want to get you to that room.
So I feel like the word prostitution is a little too harsh, but I don't know another word to use, because I'm not trying to call women prostitutes. I am not trying to say, like, if you're out here and you're fortunate enough to have your significant other be able to pay your bills or give you money, spending money for the week, this, that, and the third, that you're a prostitute. That is not what I'm saying. I think that is an example of a man who may love you and who sees you as an investment and wants to invest in you. And there is nothing wrong with that. However, for the examples and scenarios I'm using what we see in social media, what we see on TikTok, where the girls are getting flued out, and, got the Shera Seven girls who are like, oh yeah, like, if he ain't talking money, then he can't talk to me. That is what I'm saying, which is when you are approaching on a relationship with just the sole purpose of money, then that is what is leading you to that soft form of prostitution, because you are basically saying that I'm giving you my time, attention, and potentially, most likely, my body in exchange for whatever money you can give me. That is what I'm saying. I mean, we've seen this happen to celebrities just recently. Look at the whole Diddy situation. We've seen this happen to Cassie. We've seen this happen to Yung Miami, fooling with that nasty man Diddy. All right? They embarked on a relationship with him because he had what? Money, fame, power. And we can criticize him all day long and say that he used that against those girls, especially in Cassie's situation. Yeah, he did. He knew what he was doing. But don't act like those girls did not know what they were doing or what they were getting themselves into. They knew very well. Cassie basically said it. Right, I knew very well, oh, this man has my career. He could potentially open up doors for me with my career. He's buying me whatever I want. He's giving me a certain lifestyle. She wasn't dumb. But what she failed to realize was that she embarked on a relationship with a man who was damn near twice her age, that she didn't really like that. She said in her own words, she didn't like him like that, but she figured, oh, shoot, like, oh, okay, you know, I guess I should, because why? Right, financially, this could be a great financial gain for me, right? So she embarked on a relationship with him, but not knowing that it led her down a very dark path. It led her to a very abusive man, a very abusive relationship where she actually couldn't get out of. Yeah, she got money. Yeah, her bills are paid. Yeah, she got cars, and she also had 2 black eyes. All right. She also, what we learned, she had to do some nasty stuff, like nasty stuff to appease this nasty ass man in exchange for money, in exchange for what she thought was advancements in her career, which technically was hypergamy, right? Same thing with Yung Miami. She got with this nasty man because he's a music mogul. And she did, I don't know what she did, but we can conclude that she did some nasty stuff for that nasty man so she can get her penthouse paid for. So she can get, I think it was rumored that she was getting $500,000 a month. Right. You think Diddy was just doing that because he just really, really liked her? No, he did it in return for some nasty stuff. So these, Cassie and Yung Miami, they're examples of hypergamy gone wrong. Hypergamy where you kind of look like a prostitute because you had to go out and turn some tricks with this dude or turn some tricks for this dude in exchange for what he was giving you.
Scrolling on TikTok, the girls are like, oh, I got flued out and all this happened and it was by a rapper or athlete. Like, let's be real. You know why you were getting flued out in the first place, okay? It wasn't that you were going to go down there and miraculously change this man's mind, okay? You knew what you were going out there to do.
And to make matters worse, I'm seeing girls out here on social media promoting this flued out experience or this farce. It is an absolute farce. Where these girls are bragging about how this guy flew me to Miami. This guy flew me to Houston. He paid for a round trip ticket. Yeah, and when you got there, girl, you know you had to bust it wide open. Stop playing with me. For real, stop. Don't let these girls fool you, man. I'm telling you, don't let these girls fool you. They're out here turning tricks. They really are. Is there a few that may not be? Okay, sure. I doubt it, but okay, if that's what we want to believe. Nothing is for free. A whole plane ride, and he just loves your company. If he had that much money, he's going to go get a girl where he's at and go hook up with her there. He could just go find a girl at a bar and go, hey, here's a bag. He doesn't have to fly you out for free. He clearly wants to fly you out because he wants something from you. And what do you think that something is?
Trips you're getting. We can talk on the phone and FaceTime. We don't have to, we're not sleeping in separate rooms when we go out of town. We're grown. If somebody went out of town with me, we're grown.
I don't pay for but like
you just said you pay for one time. That's not paying for.
What is it?
That's getting there.
I paid for it, right?
You wasn't gonna she wasn't there.
So I paid for her.
Either you was gonna fly out or she was gonna fly out.
She was.
Exactly.
What
you gonna do?
Oh, she was going. No, I didn't force.
So
but it was talked upon. It was talked upon. It was talked upon before. It was talked upon before.
Okay, so Sonny, he got my question for you. Sonny.
I mean, I understand.
Sonny, do you feel like if you fly out, they should?
Yes.
Like, bruh, nobody is flying your ass out for free, and you know that. But what the people that don't know that are these young girls out here, are these 20-year-old young girls that don't know no better, and that's where I have a soft heart for. Because they're going to think, oh, this guy, he just played for me and my girl's flight. We're going to go out there. We're going to meet up in Miami. And they have no clue what is in store for them. They have no clue what's expected of them. We've seen the stories of the girls getting their flights canceled in Miami, or flights canceled because they got there and didn't want to have sex with the guy, or the guy just left them or didn't pick them up, and they had make sure that now the news story is make sure you have your own money because you never know what might happen, which is true. Make sure you have your own money before you let a man treat you to an all expense paid trip, because anything could happen. But they're telling these girls, make sure you have your own money, because if you get there and, if you don't want to have sex with them, that's your ass.
I get to the airport and we're boarding and I'm trying to board and they're like, no, like your seat got dropped. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I already checked in. So I don't know how he canceled my flight, but he canceled my flight.
So you need to be able to learn what the hypergamy content, I feel like, is not telling a lot of women. Is how to learn to delineate between a man who just wants to use you for your body versus a man who wants to actually invest in you for the future. And those two things I feel like look very different. I know it's hard out here. I know we have to play the game. I know that we want to see ourselves in a better financial position. And then also our children, our future offspring, in a better financial position. So yeah, I understand you have to play a game, but do not sacrifice morality for money. It will do you no good. Okay? So thank you for listening to me rant and rave about this topic. Please like this video and subscribe for more videos about the foolishness and debauchery of this world. And I will see you all on the next video. Bye.